to Mars, one human family. Asteroids, one human family. Jupiter, one human family. Saturn's rings, one human family. Uranus, one human family. Neptune, one human family. Kuiper Belt, one human family. Pluto, one human family. Oort Cloud, one human family. Back to Earth, one human family. Here we come, 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 one human family. Oh, here we come, one human family. 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 Here we are, one human family. Good morning, one human family. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Mike Mongo's Astronaut Adventures. My name is Mike Mongo. I'm an astronaut teacher, and you are an astronaut student, and I am grateful for you being here right now. Congratulations, you made it. This is the future, and you are here. We're here together. You, me, and everybody else who's with us right now. You know, everybody who's supporting us is with us right now. Someone doesn't have to be here with us to really be here. If they support you from afar, somebody supports you from afar, like you can have somebody in your life who thinks you're amazing, like me. I think you're amazing. So even when you're not here, I'm still thinking you're amazing. We got that clear, right? That's super important. You got that, right? So even when I'm not here, you know that I'm out here thinking you're amazing and knowing it. And I told you before how I know it. Because when I was you, I was amazing. And all I needed was someone out there like me to say it to me and explain it. Hold that thought. Gimbal lost a part. And you know why I say hold that thought? Because it's important enough to say twice. When I was you, I needed somebody out there like me to know that I was amazing. And now I get to be that person for you. And for the record, there were people out there for me. And I just wanted more, bigger, and better. And that's all right, which is why I'm here for you. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, to tell you the honest goodness truth. I hope everything worked out. I hope you did some art. My son Raphael, gimbal. My son Raphael drew some cat robots. I think that's pretty good. I should draw a cat robot real quick just to let's get this party started, right? Let's get this party started quickly. Cat robot, huh? Cat robot. All right, so I got this amount of space. I'm giving myself this amount of space. So for me, a cat robot, if I were gonna draw a cat robot, and you know why I'm drawing a cat robot? Because I'm a grown-up and I can. If you're a grown-up and you're not drawing cat robots, can you ask yourself one simple question? Why? Because, so here's the interesting thing. Does a cat robot, I don't think a cat robot necessarily has a square head. It can, but I've seen all the Avengers movies, and the machines kind of flow. So I'm gonna have my cat robot look more like a regular cat. Looks more like a mouse actually, but it's a cat. So how can I make my cat robot look more like a robot? Well, I guess I want to give it some skinny body. And the interesting thing is I'm having it turn this way. And I think that cat robots need feet, even if they have skinny feet. And I think the feet are actually kind of cool to draw. Legs. Ooh, that's a skinny one. And then hindquarters. And then tail. And then you know what? Right here, can you see this? Yeah, cool. I'm going to put a light bulb right here at the end of the tail. And that way it's for sure a cat robot. See, I don't think that a cat robot necessarily has to look mechanical, but it can. So you can tell it's a cat robot because it has a light bulb on the tail. There you go, cat robot. Cat robot. And I've never drawn a cat robot before. And it looks like a regular, so let's make some metal things down here on the feet. These are like bolts. So, you know, it has more robot right there. And also right here, let's put some diodes. And then down here, I'm gonna put some screen for the belly. And I always say to people that haven't drawn something before, just draw it. Just give it a shot. Okay, cool. And then, you know, it'd be, here, look, just bear with me. I am going to draw an antenna. Okay, cool. Boom, cat robot. Oh, can you see the antenna? There you go. Check it out. Cat robot. And you know why I drew that? I'm gonna remind you. The reason I drew that is because I can. Because I can. Not because I could, but because I did. And there's a big difference. Like, I could do something, and I did do something. Like, I could draw a cat robot, you could draw a cat robot, and then maybe you will draw a cat robot. And what a difference that's gonna make for you. And the funny thing is, I mean, did I make a mistake? I don't know. I've never drawn a cat robot before, so how could I possibly have made a mistake? There's no mistakes. Remember what I always say? No runs, no drips, and no errors. So you can't really make mistakes when you're doing art. And even if it looks odd or awkward or strange, just keep on drawing. It's not a grade. I'm not drawing that for anybody else but me. I'm just drawing it for me so I can show you how to draw it for you. When you draw something, draw a giraffe. Draw a robot giraffe. How crazy is that? I love real giraffes. And everybody can't have a real giraffe. You know how cool? Like, what if we had a giraffe that was this big right here that was a robot? Like a house giraffe that was a robot. Actually, even smaller. Maybe like this big. So the head would be right here. And then the neck would be right here. and then the body would be right here, and the legs would be right here. So body's right here, and then the neck, and then the head. And then I'm this tall. So the robot giraffe could be right down there. And it doesn't have to do anything except for be my friend. It doesn't have to have a job. It doesn't have to have work. Why not? Especially if it's kind, if it's fun to have around. Because we can't all have giraffes in our house. Even in my house, as big as it is, a giraffe wouldn't fit in here. Look how high the ceiling is. It is way up there. It is twice as tall as I am. And if we had a giraffe in here, it would bump its head. So if we had a small little robot giraffe, it would be awesome. Things to keep in mind. It's your future. You're the architect. That's the creator of the future that's coming up. These are things to keep in mind. What are the things that you want or that you can imagine? And maybe it's not a robot giraffe. Maybe it's something even more amazing than that. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Today is a really cool day. I'm just too excited. I guess I should be louder. The number one question that students send me, oh yeah, I switched everything up today. So you know how, so first of all, if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. It helps everything out. And the other thing is that, you know how I always say, if you're a grown up and you want to support this program, you can go to Buy Mike Mongo, go to MikeMongo.com and click on Buy Mike a Coffee. Well, a couple weeks ago, I made a switch. I switched to tea. I'm 55. I had tea when I was a kid. Now I'm having tea as a grown up. And it's really nice. So I switched it up. And maybe it's affected the way that I'm communicating with you. Did you need me to get more excited today? Did I need to do that? Do I? Because I was watching the shows and I was like, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. So if you're a grown up and you really like the programming, just click on MikeMongo.com. No, go to MikeMongo.com and click on Buy Mike T-E-A. And I was saying about the questions we get. So the questions usually come from Mike Mongo, Astronaut Teacher, on Instagram. Okay? That's where I get a lot of questions. Also on Twitter and some on Facebook. And our number one question, and here it is, get ready. Number one by far is this question right here. How can I be an astronaut? How can I be an astronaut? My Google, I am so glad you asked that question. I'm glad every single time you've asked that question. And so today's show answers the question, how you can be an astronaut. And I want you to know, I'm gonna do more shows about this particular topic, how you can be an astronaut. That's why you're here in the first place, because you want to grow up to be a space explorer. I get that. And the thing about it is that an astronaut isn't like a regular job that you go and apply for. When you go to apply for jobs, when it's your turn to go out into the work world and apply for jobs, you're gonna find that you need certain things to get jobs. In the beginning, people say to you, it's a job you can get without experience. And I'll give you, the very first job I had no experience, was a bag boy at a grocery store. It was at Publix Groceries in Florida. And I bagged groceries, and it was so fun. It was a little scary at first, to tell you the truth, not having a job and then going in, and you get to wear a nice shirt, and then you get to wear a tie, and you get to wear pants and work shoes. And it was really kind of different. It was a surprise. And in the very beginning, I didn't know, you wouldn't believe this. Bagging groceries, it takes intelligence. It takes smarts. You don't just put stuff, like you don't put the bread at the bottom, you put the bread at the top. You don't put the heavy stuff at the top, you put the heavy stuff at the bottom. You don't put one cold thing over here and one cold thing over here. You put all the cold things together so that they stay cold before they get home, particularly stuff like ice cream and stuff like that, right? So we take those things for granted, especially when we're you, because we just think, it's just putting stuff in a bag and you carry it home. It isn't like that. There's skills. You learn bag boy skills. And then once you become familiar with groceries and bag boy skills, or bag girl or bagging person skills, bagging person, how many bagging people? I see bagging people all the time. People that are female, people that are women, people that are girls, people that are boys, people that are men, people that are male, bagging people who are bagging our groceries. And they're all different shapes, sizes, ages, even incomes who are doing it. Some people just like to do it. And I gotta tell you, it was a lot of fun to bag groceries. It was a lot of fun. It was so much fun. I did it for 2 years while I was in high school. I loved it. And I loved working with the people I worked with. The people who I worked with became like my family. They became like extended family. We would go and do barbecues together. And we would do fun stuff together. And that was great. And a lot of those people, like the people who managed, they were the bosses at the grocery store, they became mentors for me. They were the people who taught me work skills that I carried forward in presenting myself, being clean and presenting myself in a professional manner and being polite. Those managers in my very first job taught me those skills. They introduced those skills to me, and I refined them over the years. And then I refined them when I went to college. I refined them when I created businesses. I refined them when I went through the military. Refined them as I traveled around the world. We're constantly refining and constantly doing stuff like that. And it was the very first time that I picked up those skills. Like my parents, my mom and other people had always encouraged me to be polite. And then it became even more important, or the value of those skills started to show up at when I worked as a bagging person. Okay? So how do you get to go from being a bagging person to an astronaut or an astronaut teacher? That's kind of the key of this whole thing today. So again, to reiterate, the number one question that students ask me, the number one question that you ask me all the time, how can I be an astronaut? That's the question. And it usually comes from something like on Instagram, Mike Mongo, astronaut teacher. Oh, my Google. And I love those questions. Now, when students ask me different questions besides how can I be an astronaut, I appreciate that, because it's the very first most obvious question that you're going to ask an astronaut teacher. In the same way, by the way, that when grown-ups see you, they say, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Hey, what are you going to be when you grow up? You know how we do that? So you as a student are always asking me, how can I be an astronaut? See, so it's not like grown-ups only do one thing. Students do the same thing. Pow. You could ask me unusual questions, and by the way, some students do, and they get to stand out. It may be that they want to know how to be an astronaut, but they think it through a little bit, or maybe they've studied the work that I do, or they've asked some questions and they already have some answers, and they want something more specific, more detailed. So I'm going to go over this stuff with you today. And yeah, you know what? I'm taking my time, and I got to tell you, here's why I'm taking my time. This is really important. And it has part to do with training to be an astronaut. If you don't have patience, you're not going to make it. Facts. If you have patience, you're going to make it. When you have patience, you kind of get in any goal that you want. Yeah, if you're in a foot race, I have to say, if you're in a foot race, it just crossed my mind. If you're in a foot race, you can't really be patient. You have to be consistent. You can't take your time. It's a little different if you're in a race. This isn't a race. This is not a race. By the way, patience and taking your time really makes a difference in a race too. But that's another topic for another day. Today we're talking about how to be an astronaut. I'm going to repeat the same thing over and over. And part of the reason why is because when you go and pursue something like astronautics, I'm getting a little dry throat. 1 second. Bucka. Hi, come on over here. I'm just having a drink of water. Oh, you know what? I was gonna turn this on today. Let me turn this on. I know all the secrets, and you have to wait till I tell you. That is how it works. And it is really important because patience is more than a virtue. When people say patience is a virtue, I think they kind of mean it is the real thing that gets us to where we're going. If you can't practice patience, you're not going to get to where you're going. And if you can practice patience, you're going to get there. So I've come up with a sort of a formula for you to become an astronaut, for you to get the things necessary for you to become an astronaut. You happen to be in the right place. I wonder what happens. Hey, look, it's YouTube. I wonder if we can watch ourselves right now. Wouldn't that be cool? Let's just see. That would be crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's live, it's me, live. That is awesome. All right, I'm enrolled, that's hysterical. We're gonna turn the volume down a little bit though. All right, so I got these skills, and it takes patience, and if you develop the skills, you're gonna get the things necessary. This formula, if you practice the formula, you'll get to the place where you'll have what it takes to be an astronaut. Are there other reasons and circumstances and situations that may affect that? Yes or no? Is it yes or is it no? If you follow the formula that I'm giving you right now, do you imagine that there's other things that could affect this besides this? Like I'm saying that if you follow this formula that I'm about to give you, that you're going to be able to live, work, and play in space and become one of the next generation of space explorers that we call human heirs. Is there anything else that might affect that? Yes, there is. Life is full of surprises. Remember what I always say? We can never prepare to be surprised. I can hear you, by the way, chomping at the bit, waiting for me to give you this information. And once again, we're practicing the most crucial skill of all, and that is patience. Because if you are racing to get somewhere, there's another saying, slow and steady wins the day. It means that if you're consistent and you keep on going in the same direction, you're going to get there. As I pointed out to you before, I did not become an astronaut teacher overnight. When I made that decision 13 years ago, it took one day, following another day, following another day. I made a little success this day and a little success this day. And it was all those little successes that opened up into this one giant big success right now that allows this conversation. And then the exact same thing is going to be true for you. I don't care if you're 8. I don't care if you're 6. You're not going to wake up and be a 7-year-old kid astronaut. There is a very high likelihood that's not going to take place. It's possible because almost anything is possible. Pretty much anything is possible. However, in all likelihood, if you really want to be an astronaut, and you practice these skills, you're going to be available for when the role does show up. And let's say you're 8 right now. Wouldn't it be cool to be a 15-year-old astronaut? That's 7 years away. That's almost as long as you've been alive. You think that's going to require some patience? Yes or no? See? So I'm giving you the formula right now. This is the formula. I'm giving it to you right now. We're going to start. And you're going to practice it. And you're going to stick to it. And I'm going to remind you about it. I came up with it. It's just for you. It means that all the other students that aren't watching this, even if they want to be astronauts, aren't getting it. But you are. Look how smart you are. Look how sharp you are. That's why I'm here. Because of how good you are. All right. So check it out. Hey, Mike, nice TV show you got there. Nice YouTube channel you got there, buddy. Like my friend Polly Shore says. All right. So here it is. Here's the formula. Get ready. Skills. Listen, you may not think that this is the actual formula And I've got too many friends who are astronauts that can validate this for me. So you can test me if you want to. You're just going to have to take my word for it. This is the way to do it. Especially if you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Especially if you're into those teens, 19. Okay, here we go. First one is skills. Skills. Skills are things like patience. Skills are definitely things like patience. Skills are things like people who are really good at drawing robot cats, for instance. Robot cats. Well, how can drawing a robot cat? Where is the robot cat? Gimbal, over here. Gimbal, over there. No, over there. Gimbal, over there. Gimbal. 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 Robot. Thank you. Robot. Right there, the robot cat. How can drawing a robot cat get you into becoming an astronaut? It's not the only thing that's going to do it. It's one of the things. When I joined the Army, I was drawing pictures. I was out drawing pictures. I was out at a park drawing pictures. And the recruiter came up to me and said, Sergeant Gilbert T. Doppelmore, said, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing that for the Army?" And I turned and looked and I said, "Drawing for the Army?" And we had opened up a conversation. So that drawing, it opened up a whole path for me, allowing that, me sitting there drawing, and I was drawing like a pyramid or something. I was drawing a sun or something. I kind of remember. Skills are not just, okay, but there's more than that. There's skills are things like, ha ha ha. So yeah, I'm telling you as an 8, 9, 10, or 11-year-old, yeah, draw. Become good at drawing. So what does that mean? It means that you practice it every day. Remember what my friend Brad Johnson, Mr. Scarface, the rapper, said to us? He said, well, I haven't had him on the show yet, but he told me, study your business like homework. So if your business is drawing, then you get to draw. Not should be, you get to draw every day. And if you want to become amazing at drawing a robot cat, then draw a robot cat. Draw a robot cat all the time. And then when you get the robot cat down, when you're comfortable and you're confident that you can draw a robot cat without even thinking about it, then draw a robot giraffe, or draw a tree, or draw a foot, or a shoe, or a sock. If drawing is your thing, draw. If dancing is your thing, if you like to dance, great. That's great. I like to dance. Am I a professional dancer? No. If I was, I would be dancing every single day. It would be the thing. It would be the thing that I practice. Absolutely. No question. That would be the thing that I practice. That's how I would develop that skill. If dancing was my thing, if I wanted to be a space dancer, and I'm not joking right now. If I wanted to be a space dancer, I would be practicing dancing every day. And I'll give you a parallel. That means something that's like this. They say it's an analogy. We're comparing one thing to another to draw a lesson common to both things. That's an analogy. And that is sports. For instance, here's another for instance. Football, soccer, baseball, any of those, any sport. Could be swimming, badminton, tennis, golf, any of them. Rugby. What is that one called? Crew. Crew is when you're doing oars and strokes. My buddy Alan was on crew in college. What's the one with the thing that you catch a ball with a stick and throw it, and it hard, and it's really, what is that one called? Lacrosse. If you want to be great at a sport, you get to study it just like it's homework. And studying it often means playing it, practicing. So if you want to play football, but you don't practice football, you're not going to be a football player. You might play football, but that doesn't make you a football player. There's people who, writing. Now we're jumping to a thing that's not sports. Writing. There's people who want to be writers, and then there's people who write. If you want to be a writer and you don't write, you can't be a writer. In the same way that if you want to be an astronaut and you're not practicing to developing skills that you're bringing to being an astronaut, you're not going to get to be an astronaut. And all of those included, if you are practicing the skills for any of those things, dancer, football player, lacrosse, writer, if you practice your skills, like Mr. Scarface says, practice your business like homework. If you practice it like it's homework, think about that. Let's think about that for a second. Practice doing the thing you want to do, the thing you love, like it's homework. It changes the way we look at homework, and it also changes the way we look at the things we want to do. It changes the way we look at homework, and it also changes the way we look at things that we want to do. Like, it's so easy to eat ice cream, but no one gets a job doing that really, and it would make ice cream not interesting. So we get jobs doing the things we love doing. And so that means we get to be good at something. I'll give you another for instance as an example. And that's how our friend Cyan Proctor, the analog astronaut, the world's most famous analog astronaut, became as good as she is and became the world's most famous analog astronaut. And that is that she developed her skill as a geologist. She brought that to the table. That means when you're invited to come to the table, and what skills are you bringing? She brought geologists. She studied soil. She studied rocks. She studied terrains, which is the surface of land. Geology, she brought that skill. She went and got degrees in geology. She loves food, so she studied nutrition. Like, she studied it. She didn't just eat food. She studied food, how food works, how we digest it, what nutrients we need, what makes good food, what makes bad food. She studied nutrition. You know what else she loved doing? Photography. She loved taking pictures. She's really good at taking pictures. So she studied it and became good at it as a hobby. But she developed the skill. She studied it like homework. And lastly, and this is very important, and you wouldn't think it would be, right? She studied travel. She traveled. Isn't that funny? Like, of course, it's so funny that people who want to be astronauts don't think about this. Learning how to travel is very important, because as an astronaut, you're going to be traveling a lot. As a space explorer, you're going to be traveling a lot. Got it? How cool is this? Think about it. So, these are all yeah. The traveling part is cool. Think about it. I got it. But the important part is the takeaway, and that is study your business like homework. Whatever the thing, you get to bring talents and skills to being an astronaut. Do not imagine for a second that you just get to step into an astronaut uniform and then go to space. It is not how it works. My friend Umar is studying to be an engineer right now. I'm helping him with being a rocket scientist. I'm helping him by introducing him to rocket scientists. I've got other friends who have reached out to me. What is this guy's name? I'll find out in a second. This young fellow. So the same is true for you. You get to develop skills. I mean, you know why I know I can draw a robot cat? Is because I have practiced drawing stuff and just drawing it. Even though I've never drawn it before. I've never, so help me goodness, drawn a robot cat to my recollection, to my memory. So you get to practice it. Study your business like homework. You can study about astronautics. You can study about rocket ships. You can find the thing about the subject that you know that you are going to be able to bring to the table. When you're invited to be an astronaut, when you are invited to take the chance to be an astronaut, to be hired as a space explorer, because that's the opportunity here, because tomorrow's jobs are in space. You will bring skills with you. I'm encouraging you right now. This is part of the formula. Whew. Second one, manners. What? You didn't think that manners mattered to being an astronaut? I want you to know that right here in the future, there are no rude astronauts. Astronauts are kind, thoughtful, and helpful. Remember the formula I have in your head? Like we're having a formula to be an astronaut, and I got a formula for each one of us gets to carry in our head. How am I helping? Remember that? Do you remember? An idea that is a utility, it's like a mechanism that we store in our mind, like I'm pointing inside. But that's inside here is where I think, in my mind, which is stored in my brain. And inside my mind is one idea that I keep going all the time. I use it all the time. I let it play. It just is it's on regular. It's not necessarily on repeat. It's on regular. It just goes. It's like the Ever Ready. There used to be a battery called Ever Ready. Ever Ready. That idea is ever ready. And the idea that is ever ready is constantly functioning. It's operating. Is how am I helping? And how am I helping is like if I'm in a situation and I'm not saying please, thank you, yes sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes ma'am. If I'm not saying those simple things, I'm not helping as much as I could. And those are the simplest ways to help. So you're gonna be using those words in the future. You can practice now and get ahead of the game. If you are using those words right now, those phrases, then you are already ahead of the game. And I'm proud of you. Study your business like homework. Practice your skills like homework. Practice your skills like training. Study your business like homework. Practice your skills like training. We coined that right here. Practice your skills like training. Thank you, please. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, please. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. Thank you, please. No, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, please. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Got it? Simple. And you get to practice that. And I want you to know that developing that, here's another thing about those skills, about manners that advantages you. I'm going to write this down. This word, oh my Google, this word is so important. Gimbal, what's going on here? You want to play? Gimbal, you want to play over here? Come on. Thank you. All right. Got itchy nose once again. Okay, here it is. Everybody know what word that is? Discipline. And you may think it's silly that I am discipline. That I'm looking it up. But I've got discipline. And I know that for whatever reason, I could be putting that on the board and I could be looking at it and it may even still be misspelled. So I wanted to make sure it was spelled right because it's such an important word. I want you to have it. I want you to take it and I want you to receive it and take it and carry with it, put you in a pocket, keep it with you. Saying thank you, thank you, yes ma'am, yes sir, no ma'am, please, may I. Saying those phrases, using those words, it is not that time. Oh my goodness gracious. Saying those phrases, using those words takes discipline. And discipline is definitely you have to have discipline in using the formula in order to get to be a human heir. Someone who lives, works, and plays in space. Skills, manners. Announce. Remember what I said about attention? Announce your intention. Declare it. I am going to be a human heir. I am going to be a space explorer. I am going to get to work in space. I am going to be an astronaut. Declare it. Announce the fact that you are going to get to be this thing, that you are doing these things. Let the people know. As our friend Alyssa Carson explained to us, you never know who you're talking to. And if you don't explain what it is you're going to be when you grow up, you don't know, you may be walking right past the administrator of NASA or the CEO of a rocket ship company or somebody that you didn't even know went to school, somebody that you know really well, but didn't know that they went to school with somebody who runs a rocket ship company. This happens all the time because we underestimate people or we don't understand that we have our life when we're you, and then we have our life when we're after you, and then we have our life when we're in high school, and we have our life when we're in college, and we have our life out helping people. We have our life when we're doing scouts. We have our life when we're at synagogue or church or temple. We have our life. We have all these different lives. And you don't know how many people that we meet as grown-ups in particular over all of those lives. So just because you know somebody in one way doesn't mean that when they leave you, they are not working at NASA or SpaceX or Blue Origin or United Launch Alliance or Virgin Orbit or Rocket Labs. You don't know. So that's why we just don't know. I wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. So that's why we announce our intention. I am going to grow up to live, work, and play in space. What are you going to be when you grow up, astronaut? Just like that. You're announcing it. Got it? Resolve. Resolve. Resolve means determination. Resolve. That means, ooh, I got a good one for you. This is a good one. Resolve is when you decide, when you are just determined. Resolve means committed. Resolve. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. I'm going to do this. Don't let life talk you out of it. Don't let whatever circumstances talk you out of it. You are going to get to go to space. You are going to be an astronaut. You are going to be a humaneer. That's resolve. That is commitment. And sometimes, and here's a funny thing, on the other side of announcing it, sometimes we just have to keep it quiet because the people around us don't believe in our vision, our dreams, our idea. I am here to believe in your vision, dreams, and idea. So it doesn't matter to me who doesn't believe in that idea around you. I believe in it. You've got an ally right here. You have all of us out here supporting you, waiting for you to join us. We're creating a future that works out for everybody, and you are part of it. You're an essential part of it. That's how you have resolution. That's how you decide and determine. You know the truth. Resolve. Resolve. Make that resolution. I'm going to space. Done. And lastly, remember what I just said? All of us are out here waiting for you. We're not just waiting. We're here. We're here. When you're ready, we're here. Team. That's all of us. We're all in this together. You being part of our team, you be part of the team that you're working on, you being part of a team of players that are developing or working on something. When I worked as a bag person at Publix grocery store, I was part of that team. And when I'm in the Army, in the military, I was part of that team. Right now I'm on your team, you're on my team, we're on the same team. Team. No I in team. It's when people say that, that means it's not just you alone or me alone. It's us. So there should be an us in team because that's how it rolls. So you gotta be a great team player. You get to be a great team player. How to be an astronaut, be a team player. All of these, and that's all of them. This is the formula. By the way, I made it really easy to remember. SMART, smart. How do you be an astronaut? Be smart. Skills, manners, announce, resolve, and team. Practice your skills, develop skills, and not just one, a variety of them. If you happen to be Albert Einstein, a young Albert Einstein or Alice Einstein, and you're developing some sort of formula, some brand new formula, you're phenomenal at math, develop that skill. Develop it. Actually, in fact, it was the fact, okay, so Albert Einstein, he had this whole thing, he's like, I'm not smarter than everybody else, I'm just not willing to quit. I'll go longer. That's the difference. So think about all the people that drop out. They're like, oh, it's difficult to be an astronaut, so I'll let someone else do it. Because that's what it means when you quit. Skills, manners, politeness, open doors, move chairs, lift bags. How am I helping? Run to help. Announce, I am going to space. What are you going to be when you grow up? Space explorer. Got it? Resolve. For sure, I'm going to be a space explorer. For sure, I'm going to grow up to live, work, and play in space. For 100% certain about that. Resolution. Don't change your mind. And if you have to be quiet about it sometime, awesome. Keep that resolution right here in your heart. Like Albert Einstein. Oh, you know what? Speaking of resolve. Oh, woo. I just remembered this. When I was, we get to quit anytime. We can quit anytime we want. If you don't want to be an astronaut, you change your mind, you can quit. You're like, oh, it's too hard. It's too hard. Since you can quit anytime, Why quit today? That's a great saying. We can quit anytime, so why quit today? Keep going. Don't let difficulties get in your way. That's resolution, no matter what comes. And it is hard. And that's okay, because everything worth doing is difficult. Everything. Otherwise, everybody would do it. And that's not a problem. It's just that, that's a feature. It keeps only the committed people, the people dedicated to it. Remember, Leland Melvin lost his hearing and he kept on going. He had resolution. He got it back. He did what it took. And then team. Be such a great teammate. Be the person that people want to invite on a team to play. Bring the skills. Bring the manners. Everybody knows who you are. And that determination makes you a great team player. And that's smart. That's what it is today. How to be an astronaut? Be smart. Skills, manners, announce, resolve, and team. Announce, resolve, and team. Skills, manners, announce, resolve, team. Announce could be announcement. Skills, manners, announcement. But I like announce. Skills, manners, announce, resolve, and team. Skills, manners, announce, resolve, team. Be smart. That's how to be an astronaut. Facts. We're going to talk about this again. I'm introducing you to these ideas. I'm not expecting you to grasp them on the very first time we talk about it. But we're dedicated to this. That's my resolution. When I was you, I needed me. And here I am today for you. For you. Wait a minute. Let me look real close. Yes. For you. Right there. For you. You've been waiting for me. I've been waiting for you. What is a student but a teacher's? What is it? What is a student but a teacher's job? And what is a teacher but a student's? Something like that. I have to remember it. What is a student but what is it? Yes. Oh, yeah. What? Yeah, I got it. What is it? What is this teacher but a student's teacher? And what is a student but a teacher's job? It's something like that. I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. I have been waiting for you. I'm here because you needed me. Because what needed like this? You needed me. You needed somebody like me. You needed a me. Not just me specifically. You needed a me to give you these tools so that you can achieve the goal that you're after. You sourced me. You sourced me. I am here because you needed an astronaut teacher, and here I am. And that's how the universe works. You set your intention. Nice. So, keep on going. I can't wait to see you become an astronaut. You're going to be an amazing human heir. People are going to talk about you as a space explorer, and you're going to inspire the generation that comes after you. I am proud of you. I'm proud of you for being here. I'm proud of you for listening. I'm proud of you for studying. That's why I think you're beautiful. Because I can see all these things you're doing. You're making the future a place worth being. I am proud of you. Gosh. Be smart. Let's get to space. We're going to talk about this a lot. I think you're amazing. People don't pay me to be wrong. People pay me to be right. You're amazing. And on that note, in the words of our people, next time